Good morning, Internet fans. It's Ryan Perry, Simple Biz Support. It is Wednesday, therefore it's Social Media Wednesday. It is September 16th, and I have Sarah Giometti with Pravaro Marketing on the other side. And today we're going to talk about the 4 different types of content that you can post on your social media accounts. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're not in your office.
I am not in my office.
We can't really tell, but I'm assuming there's tropics and palm trees and hula girls somewhere.
Yes, there are. Unfortunately, the view kind of blew out the background behind me, so I had to turn around and have a wall behind me. But I
Yeah,
tried to give you the tropics view.
you need a lot of light to offset any backlighting that you'd get. So that's okay. You don't want to make me jealous anyhow, because I'm still here in the office. We got some rain finally last night, so things are looking up a little bit in California. Today, though, we're going to talk about the 4 different types of social media. I mean, if you go on Twitter as an example, people typically are just pushing out 140 character tweets. You go on Facebook, a lot of pictures and video. Instagram and Snapchat and all those typically are picture related. But the reality is, as a consumer, somebody who actually views social media and follows different people and companies online, if we always send out the same type of content, it can get kind of boring. So we want to mix it up. And sometimes I think as business owners, we get a little lazy and we kind of get in a groove of things, and we're just like, oh, I'm just going to post this. You know, oh, I love pictures, so I'm just going to keep on posting pictures that I think are really cool. And that maybe won't create the engagement that you could be by mixing things up a little bit.
Right, and we decided on this. We were talking a couple weeks ago that we might not have ever gone over what really in depth what the 4 types are and when to use them, why you should use all of them. Because you're absolutely right. It gets stale if you're using the same thing. I've seen pages where they do nothing but links, and it's that's not a page I want to follow. I don't always want to read an article. I don't always want to click through. And so this is a way to make sure when you're doing your strategy that you are employing, especially on Facebook and Twitter, you are employing all 4 types of posts that are available to you, because if they're there, why not use them? And they get different engagement rates. People, when you spice it up a little bit, people are more likely to interact in more posts when you're giving them some variety. You're mute.
Let's go ahead and let's talk about what those 4 different types are. So let's describe what they are, and then let's go through each one independently.
So especially for Facebook has the most variety. There's just straight text, no links, no pictures, just text. Then you also have pictures, you have links, and you have native video. So the difference with native video is not linking to your YouTube, that's technically a link, but uploading the video directly into Facebook, which is very valuable. So we'll start with the easiest one, which is text. This is strictly just text. And a lot of the ways that just text works is you might do a lengthier one. They have found really short ones and really long ones, posts work really well on Facebook pages. But a really short one could be a fill in the blank, or asking a silly question, or something short like that, where you're asking them to engage. You're kind of compelling them when they read it, like, what blank book changed my life, or my favorite food is blank, because people just naturally go, I want to tell everybody what my favorite whatever is. But also you can do the longer narrative posts. And I know I've seen stuff about notes coming back where it could operate a little bit like a native blogging platform. But this is not the notes part of it, but doing a long post where people have to click more, especially if you're telling a lot of information or an engaging story of something that happened. Maybe you've got a great client success story and you just want to not do a blog post of it, but do a long post on Facebook. I'm sitting outside. Of course, it is 6:30 in the morning here. So the trash is going by. So the text could be a really powerful one to use both ways, the short and the long. The next type is pictures, and pictures are powerful. We are visual people. Where's my mic is like right here. We are visual people, so we do want to, and we definitely want to make sure we incorporate pictures, because people, a lot of times people, they might be just sitting for an appointment, they're just scanning a Facebook feed. A picture is something you can get across to them really quickly. So people, if you have a small amount of text on a picture, if it's a funny picture, it's something people can consume fast. And so that's a great way to just kind of get engaged with them, and put some of your humor in there. Humor works really well. I think I did somewhere, I read MIT did a study that we consume a picture in like 1.6 milliseconds or something tiny like that we can process the picture way faster than we can process words. So you definitely want to make sure you incorporate pictures into your strategy. And we've talked in previous episodes where you can use Canva to create your own pictures, or you can use something like Post Planner to look for pictures that people have already created that you can share. But that way you've got that incorporated. And you can do a mix of inspirational quotes, just general information you want to do, funny. Pictures are a great way to show your corporate or your company culture and personality, and have that show through and have people relate to you.
Right. The other thing I wanted to say is that between, the two things that we've talked about when we talk about all four, is that also always understand who your audience is. And this is whenever you're creating content, regardless of what format or what type of content you're creating. If you understand who your audience is, you want to shift your focus. You may do 80% images if that's what triggers your audience. Just because there's 4 types doesn't mean you want to break it out and go, okay, I'm going to do 25 of this, 25 of this, and 25 of that.
Absolutely right. That's a great point. That you want to watch and see what's working, what's not working. And you also don't want to do text, picture, link, video, text, picture, link, video, because then it gets repetitive. And so you still want it to look like you're on the fly and it's all jumbled up, but you are thinking about it behind the scenes, about making sure you do have some variety. But you're right, if your audience interacts a ton with pictures and never interacts with links, you may want to shrink the links down and keep it to just your own blog post when you're doing links. But that does bring us to the third one, is links, where it's links to YouTube videos, links to your blog posts, links to other educational posts. So I know Ryan and I are both in internet marketing. We post content from industry leaders that put out really good content for what we do. So that's something that you want to look at, is who are your industry leaders, who's not your direct competition, although Ryan and I are direct competitors to share each other's content. If you have a relationship with like that, absolutely utilize their content. But who puts out really good content, who's not a direct competitor threat to you, that it would be good information to share with your followers, especially if it's somebody who's out of your area. They're not going to go buy from that person. So there's no harm in sharing the information. But links are a really good way on the educational scale when you're doing a variety of types of content and subjects. Links are the best way to get out the education. The fourth one is...
the other thing I wanted to say about links is that links is also a great way to share your input or your idea. So somebody else has written an article and you have an opinion about it, positive, negative, indifferent, whatever it is. It's a great way to kind of take somebody else's information and kind of expand on it. I'm trying to think of the organization, the news organization, Huffington Post. They editorialize other people's content, like crazy. And essentially it's, Newsweek today wrote an article about X, Y, and Z, and then Huffington Post will editorialize. They'll make a paragraph about whatever this article is, and they'll link to it. And that is great to do. The other thing you could do is, if you want to create visibility and you're trying to build credibility within the community of thought leaders, is respond to the content they're making out there. And again, you don't have to agree with them, but you can always add your own opinion, your own insight. Maybe they missed something, and by sharing it to them by linking to their Twitter account, or using hashtags, or however it is that you want to do that, make it visible so that they have an opportunity to see it. And it's a great way to possibly engage in communication with those people. And if you can engage in communication with thought leaders who have a huge following, you just increased your visibility tenfold, 100-fold, whatever.
Right, and it also increases your authority, because you're showing, if your followers are seeing that you're interacting with the thought leaders of your industry, then they're seeing that you're staying on top of what's going on. So you're looking more authoritative, more like an expert, because you are interacting with the thought leaders and you are following what they're putting out there, because they should be putting out the best content for your industry. And interacting with them is a great way just to get, if you want to build a relationship with one of them, the best way to do it is interact with them where they're playing. And if that happens to be social media, then like on Twitter and on Facebook especially, you can interact with them, you can comment on their posts, you can ask them questions. On Twitter, you can put them on a list, so you're always seeing what they're doing, you can retweet their information. So that's a great way. But the editorializing is also great too, is if they put something out, and it's a great way for you to ask a question. So if you're doing a paragraph to editorialize this link for an educational article, you would end it with a question like, what did you find useful? Or trying to encourage the engagement for them to give you feedback. Because remember, these are not, if they're not your clients already, you're hoping they're prospective clients, that if they're giving you feedback of what their biggest issue was or problem, it's a way for you to reach out to them and say, well, hey, how can I help you? So it helps kind of them self-qualify for you.
Right, definitely. And because we've got about 3 minutes left, and I'm sure you want to go back to sleep, is my favorite, which is video.
Yes, Ryan's favorite is video. I know we focus a lot on Facebook, but video. So on Facebook, you would do best if you do videos, put them on YouTube natively for your SEO purposes, but upload them directly into Facebook. Facebook gives it more juice and more reach if you're uploading it natively versus sharing the YouTube link. On Twitter, the videos are live, so you can't schedule the videos on Twitter. You have to, in the Twitter app on your phone, is to record a 15-second video and then post it. Instagram is 15, Twitter I think is 30, Instagram is 15 or 16 seconds. They all did it differently so they can stand out and then nobody can remember what they are. But Instagram, you can do short videos, about 15, 16 seconds. Those also are done better live, not scheduling out. But Facebook, you can upload them and schedule them like you schedule anything else, and it's a really powerful way for people to relate to you. In video, your personality, your behavior, your mannerisms, all of that comes through, and so people have a better opportunity to relate to you while watching a video. And it's kind of their lazy way to consume content too, because they just have to watch it. They don't have to read it and process it. They can just watch it or listen to it and zone out. And so it's a really powerful mix. If you're not doing video, it's something you should really consider and utilize it across the 4 platforms. You can pin them to Pinterest too.
Yeah. And the one thing that I started doing, gosh, a couple weeks ago is on Twitter, anytime somebody follows me, I grab my phone, I go into the application, and I will do a quick video thanking them. And that has done wonders because it's unique, it's original, it's personal. And it's actually opened up a few doors for me in possible relationships. So, it's just beginning out, who knows what's going to happen. And that's just simply saying thank you. That's all I did. Took a couple of seconds, said thank you. So that's a very powerful tool. If you're on Twitter, I would consider it. I'm also trying to figure out how I can do like a morning, quick tip of the day type of deal, maybe through Twitter on video. But with that, why don't you wrap up? It's 10 o'clock already. The trash man's still there, or somebody's still there.
I know. It's been a quiet street this whole time I'm here, except for apparently 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, well, of course, that's the way it's going to be. As soon as we went live, all the noise comes on. You're going to go back and relax. All the noise is going to go away. So,
Right.
it's the joys of doing a live broadcast sometimes.
And not in the location that I'm used to where I can control the surroundings. Okay, so the four are text, links, video, and pictures. You can use all four on Facebook and Twitter. Instagram is just pictures and video. Pinterest is pictures and video. I'm missing LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I think you can use all four also.
Okay.
So just make sure you're watching your analytics and you're paying attention to what your people are, what your followers are consuming, and adjust your strategy accordingly.
Okay. Perfect. Well, with that, we're going to end the show. Next week, I have how to get very responsive to messages, green icon on Facebook. I have no idea what that means.
There's on Facebook pages, you'll notice if you are there's a green like very responsive icon. If you happen to be a very responsive person page to people sending you messages or asking questions or comments, if you're responding to comments, if you're very responsive and you respond really fast, it's a green icon, so your followers know that you're very responsive.
Okay, very interesting. Deanie did not even know it existed, so looking forward to learning more about that next week. Sarah, as always, I appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your vacation in Hawaii.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure, Ryan.
All right, everybody, we'll see you next Wednesday where we're going to go live and we'll be talking about the green button on Facebook. That's why we're green today, I think. All right, everybody, take care.